Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to showcase some more amazing Event Lab creations. This time showing off the winners of Playground Games' Golden Tank Awards, which celebrate the best creation from last year with awards for these 6 categories. Before we get going though, Playground Games did also give a list of honourable mentions, which I'll put on screen here. All of those named do make incredible events from what I've seen before, however I feel like some creators such as The Filthy Honey and Twisted Knot also deserve to be on this list. Anyway, let's get on to the first event. So then, the first category was Best Race Event, which was won by Edelman with the Edel Circuit. This event has actually had over 400,000 plays. This particular blueprint is a 5-lap blueprint with a closed pit lane, and that's basically because this version has checkpoints placed for competitive racing so that no shortcuts can be taken. So if you enter the pit lane, you will miss a checkpoint. There are though several other blueprints of this circuit, so make sure to check out Edelman's blueprints on their Creative Hub for the other versions if you're not racing it in a competitive environment, or if you want to head into the pit lane. Including one blueprint apparently made for our racing series, the DRS, which we must make use of at some point. First impressions of it were that it felt very much like the Yas Marina circuit, but that might just be the colour of the runoffs. It seems to be a sort of combination of some of the greatest real-world tracks, taking different corners from different parts of those, with landmarks like a sort of reverse version of the Monaco Tunnel incorporated into the circuit. I also love the huge curving bridge with lorries on, sort of above the track, and all of the scenery around it, which looks to have been built entirely from scratch. So this is a pretty impressive first winner we're looking at today. The second category was Best Photo Location, won by Pit Lane (Night) by Bubbles 0008. This event lab is an absolutely beautifully made and highly detailed pit lane, as you might expect, designed specifically for taking incredible photos, which it does very, very well. It's also set to night and heavy rain to give a great atmosphere and really show off the lighting in particular, especially inside the garages. Being a photo map, it is of course also set to anything goes, so that you can photograph whatever car you like. But I had a really great photographing session here with the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. The third category was Best Prefab, which is sort of best prefabricated prop, so not a route in itself, and this was won by Andromona with this Festival Tower, which does look really, really cool, especially at night time. However, when I was trying to place it in order to film this and take some photos of this prop, I discovered it's not actually completely level. An event lab big as fiddly as it is, it's pretty irritating to try and manually level something that's just ever so slightly out. Having said that though, it's still a really great creation, and is probably going to be used in the background of events mostly, where it'll help add to the feeling of being at a festival. The fourth category was the Best Event Lab Island event, won by the Neon City Race, made by Koenig X. This is an incredible event. It has such a great atmosphere. It's set, as you might expect, in a metropolis full of lights, although nothing quite prepares you for how many neon lights there actually are placed around this city. This does a great job of showcasing the extent of what can be made on Event Lab Island, using effectively a completely blank canvas. Things like this are now possible, but do take a lot of work and many, many hours to build. The blueprint itself is actually set to B-class Japanese cars, which I have to say is actually perfect for this event. It was immense fun in this little Honda S2000, and also made for some really great photo opportunities on the way. It's also only 3 laps, which is a little bit of a shame, as it's quite a short track, so 3 laps doesn't actually take very long, so it would be great to see a 5 or even 10 lap version of this in the future. The fifth category was Most Creative Event, which was won by Dorifuto Merck with the SS3 Space Shuttle mini circuit, which is a beautiful creation, as are all of them actually, centered around, as you might expect, an space shuttle. For me personally, I found the route itself had too many hairpin corners, but this is sort of a constraint of the stadium more than anything. I think in a lower class car it would be much more enjoyable actually. Perhaps B or even C class, it would be much more fun to drive, as well as looking as great as it does. Building a space rocket in Event Lab though is incredibly creative, so I think it is definitely deserving of the most creative award. This particular blueprint is set to 4 laps at night time and is open to any vehicles. And last and very much not least, it's the big award, the Event Lab Creation of the Year. This is the best Event Lab of 2023 as voted for by the community, and this was won by David Tidham with Toge Battle Volume 3. As you might expect, this is a narrow, Japanese-style mountain road sprint route, so I of course again took that same Honda S2000. It is a beautifully made route, however it is just based on existing roads that are in-game. It's not built from the ground up like the Event Lab Island events and Forza Motorsport. Not to take away from this creation at all, it is excellent, and all Event Lab routes do take forever to make, so to build something of this quality is still a very big feat in Forza. It takes a lot of time, effort, and patience. Just personally, for best event of the year, I would have gone for something built entirely from scratch. Toge routes though are incredibly popular amongst the community, and this is a particularly good one, so it does make sense that this would win the award, and it is still a fantastic route. And that is going to do it for today's video, taking a look at all of the winners of the Golden Tank Awards. Personally, I think my favourite is actually the one that won Best Race Event, Edelman's Edel Circuit, but I think that's maybe because when I build Event Labs, it's always with my race series in mind, so it's sort of along the lines of what I would build, but of course far better than anything I've come up with. Although, having said that, I did also really like the Neon City race on Event Lab Island. It was absolutely stunning, and the pit lane did look particularly cool, but as an event that you can't really drive, I'm kind of less interested in the photo map ones, if I'm honest. Still though, all incredible creations. As ever, do let me know your thoughts on all of the events shown in today's video, but for now, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.